Hello everyone. In this class, we'll try to know about matrices of class 10 icse syllabus and also about all the different terms related with a matrix, the order of a matrix, and the different types of matrices. So, what is a matrix? A matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers. Numbers which are also called the elements of the matrix. Now, as you see, a matrix is generally represented with the help of a capital letter. It can be any letter of the English alphabet, and you can see the numbers are arranged in rows and columns. What is a rectangular arrangement? When the elements are arranged in the form of rows and in the form of columns, then it forms a rectangular arrangement. A is the first element, B is the second, C third, D fourth, E fifth, and F is the sixth element of this matrix. Also, A, B, and C forms the element of the first row. D, E, F are the elements of the second row. A, D are the elements of the first column. B, E are the elements of the second column. C and F are the elements of the third column. How do we identify the order of a matrix? So, order of a matrix is represented by rows into column. So in this case, we have how many rows? We have 2 rows. So 2 into how many columns do we have? We have 3 columns. So order of the matrix is referred as 2 by 3. Now again, how do we identify the elements of a matrix? So the elements are represented this is 1, 1. 1 represents the first one represents the row, the second one represents the column of the matrix. B is 1, 2, so it belongs to the first row and the second column. C is 1, 3, first row and third column. D is 2, 1, so it belongs to the second row and first column. 2, 2, second row, second column. 2, 3, so second row, third column. So this is how we identify the elements of a matrix, and the order of the matrix is written like 2 into 3 at the bottom of the matrix, and the matrix is enclosed with 2 square brackets on each side. Thus, an element of a matrix is represented with the help of A, I, J, where I represents the row and J represents the column. That's all about matrix and its different parts. So here we are going to identify the order of a matrix. Now suppose this matrix A, the order of this matrix is, how many rows we have? Only 1 row. And how many columns do we have? We have 3 columns. First column we have A, second column we have B, third column we have C. Order of the matrix is 1 into 3. The second matrix B, order of this matrix is, we have 3 into 1. So 3 rows and 1 column. Order of matrix C is, we have 2 rows and 2 columns, so 2 into 2. Order of the fourth matrix X is 3 into 2. 3 rows and 2 columns. Now if we see, the first 2 matrices has same number of elements. The third matrix is a square matrix where we have number of rows and number of columns equal, so it is known as a square matrix and having 4 elements. This is a square matrix. We'll know about all the different types of matrices again. And the fourth matrix is of the order 3 by 2. And all these matrices forms a rectangular arrangement. A square is also a type of a rectangle, and all these are a different type of rectangular arrangement. So now we know what is a matrix and the order of a matrix. Let us see different types of matrices. The first one is about equal matrices. How do we identify equal matrices? Now here we have two matrices, each of order 2 by 2. Matrix A and matrix B, both of the order 2 by 2. Once the orders are same, the two matrices to be equal, their corresponding elements should also be equal. So we need to check the corresponding elements. In that case, A should be equal to B, B equals to Q, C equals to R, and D equals to S. So when we have all the elements equal and the order is also equal, we say the two matrices are equal. The second type of matrix is a row matrix. Third one is a column matrix. The fourth one is a square matrix. We have already seen an example before. So here we can see matrix A has only one row with 3 elements and the order is 1 by 3. So it is a row matrix. The second matrix B has only one column with the order 3 by 1 and it is known as a column matrix. The third matrix is a square matrix, as we have number of rows and columns equal. So the order of the matrix is 2 by 2. Then we have the zero ordinal matrix, and the last one we have identity or unit matrix. So in a null matrix or a zero matrix, we have all the elements as zeros. If a matrix is of the order 2 by 2 with 4 elements, all the elements has to be 0. If we want to increase the elements to 6 elements, then of order 2 by 3 we have all the elements, then also 0. What is a unit or identity matrix? A unit or a identity matrix has to be a square matrix first. Why do we need square matrix? Let us try to understand this with the help of example. Now if we have a matrix of order 2 by 2, the diagonal elements, all the diagonal elements starting from the top left corner should be 1 and the rest of the elements should be 0. So it is a square matrix with the diagonal elements as 1. Now if we want to increase to a step higher, we should have 3 diagonal elements as equal, and so the rest of the elements, if you can see, if we add, we get a matrix of order 3 by 3. If we want to increase it to a next step, then we get one more and the order of the matrix is now 4 by 4. So hence we have a square matrix with the diagonal elements as 1 and the rest of the elements as zeros. Such matrices are known as square matrices. Now one thing you need to be careful about, the diagonal elements should start from the top left corner, which are ones, and not from the top right corners. That's how we get a square matrix and a unit matrix. Here are some questions based on the exercise 8.1. Now I have not written the questions, but it's very simple to understand the questions from these steps written in the answer. In question number 2, we have to find the number of possible orders with the number of elements given in a matrix 4. So if we write all the elements in one row A, B, C, D, then the order is 1 by 4. And if we write all the elements in one column, then the order is 4 by 1. If we write it in the form of a square arrangement, then A, B, C, D, we have 2 by 2 orders. So these are the possible 3 types of orders that are possible with the given 4 elements. In question number 3, we have the order of the matrix 2 by 2 given, and the relation of row and column of an element is given as aij equals to 2I minus j. Let us try to find out all the elements of the matrix with the help of the given relation. Now, if we have a 2 by 2 order of the matrix, the first element is a11, a12, a21, and a22. Now, the first element is given by aij, which is I is 1 and j is also 1. So if we put the values, we get the first element as 2 minus 1, that is 1. Now similarly, we can also find the next element, that's a12, I value is 1, j is 2, so that's 0. In the same manner, if we go on finding the other elements, we have the next element a21 as 3 and a22, the fourth element will be 2. So if we put all the values in the matrix format, we get 1032. Now in the next question, we have two equal matrices, and we need to find out the values of the variables x and y. We can see that the first matrix and the second matrix are both of the order 2 by 1. Now since these matrices are equal, we can equate the corresponding elements and find out the values of x and y. So we have 2x plus y equals to 5 and 3x minus 2y equals to 4. So these are two simultaneous linear equations with two variables. There are different ways to solve it as this topic is covered in class 9. So if you know how to solve, it's good. If you don't, then you can go and check the videos on that. So we have used the elimination method here to solve the values of x and y. So this one is based on elimination method. So we need to equate the coefficients of one of the terms. That's here we have equated the coefficient of y term. So that's we have multiplied the first equation with 2 so that we get 2y. So we can eliminate y from the two equations and we have 7x equals to 14. So that's how we get x equals to 2. And if we put the values in the equation, one of the equations, so we get y equals to 1. That's how we get the values of the variables. Now in question number 7 also we have to find the values of the variables, where we have two equal matrices and three variables here, x, y and z. Now if we compare the first element of both the matrices, we can easily find the value of x, that's x plus 2 equals to minus 5, and hence we have x equals to minus 7. Now next one is the second element. If we compare, we get y square plus y equals to 6. So we get a quadratic equation here. We need to solve the quadratic equation, which on solving we get two values of y, that's y equals to minus 3 or y equals to 2. Now if we compare the next element, that's the fourth element, we have 5z equals to minus 20, and that's very simple. We can easily get z equals to minus 4. So now we have all the values of the three different variables, x equals to minus 7, y equals to minus 3 or 2, and z equals to minus 4. Here in question number 9 also we have to find the values of the variables. We have four variables here, a, b, c and d. Now there are different ways we have used, like simultaneous linear equations in two variables. We have used quadratic equations to solve the values of the variables. Here in this question we have to use one of the identities to find the values of all the variables. Now if you compare the first element of the two matrices, we get A plus B equals to 6 and we have AB equals to 8. Now to find the value of A and B separately, because we have A plus B and AB, we need to find A minus B. So if we subtract 4AB from A plus B whole square, we get A minus B whole square. So putting the values of A plus B and AB in the equation, we have 36 minus 32 equals to 4. So A minus B equals to root over 4. Hence A minus B equals to 2. So now if we use simultaneous linear equations in two variables, we can easily eliminate B by adding the two equations. We get 2A equals to 8, A equals to 4 and B equals to 2. So if we compare the next element, the second element, not the second element, the third element of the two matrices, we have 5 plus C equals to minus 1, so C equals to minus 6. And D is the second element of the two matrices, so we can easily get D equals to 3. No equations. So we have all the 4 elements now. That's all in this class. We have understood how to find the values of the variables using different methods, and we have learnt about matrices with all its terms and the types of matrices. In the next class, we are going to learn about the operations on matrices. Thank you.